Hey everyone, welcome back to M&M IELTS. This is Manmohit. Now guys, in today's video, I am going to share with you all a couple of tips that I want to give for the IELTS writing module. The tips that you can utilize, doesn't matter what band score you're aiming for. You might be aiming for 5, 6, 7, 8, even a perfect 9. You can utilize these tips to make sure these are the basic ones that you have to just make sure that you are doing your part in achieving your scores. Obviously, the language that you use in there, the words that you would be using there, all that would matter. But then these are the most common and the most important one to utilize to make sure you're not making those silly mistakes and ending up getting your desired band score in your very first attempt. Let's begin with that one. Now, the first one is, this is one thing that many students get confused with as to what spellings to use. They literally start memorizing the spellings for certain words which have got different set of spellings. For example, the word such as color. Now, color can be spelled as C-O-L-O-R or it can be spelled as C-O-L-O-U-R. Same goes with organization with a Z, organization with an S, and so many of these different words. This is the official guideline from the IELTS exam that does not matter what spellings you're using. All of them are acceptable as long as at least one of them is absolutely correct. So you do not have to stress about memorizing a certain set of style of the spellings. It does not work like that. Use any type of spellings, make sure they are correct, and you should be all good with getting your scores and obviously making sure that you're not losing any marks because of different style of spellings. This one is, look, I cannot stress this enough, is that this is not an English exam which is similar to some other exams out there. I'm not saying other exams are bad or worse or better or something like that. No, every exam has got its own importance, but this one here, because it is being checked by a human being, even though the exam is being conducted by a computer nowadays, we have got a computer delivered IELTS, but for the checking purpose, it's still being done by a human being. In that case, we have to make sure we are not memorizing a template in the writing essay and just typing it down or writing it down word by word and just adding a couple of sentences in between. I've seen some students doing it, but keep this thing in mind when it goes to the examiner and they read out your essay and they find a slight thing in there, or they just feel to the slightest that, okay, this feels like a memorized structure that they have seen outside already. Like right away, you just can't expect a good band score after that. You can't expect a 7 or a 8. There's no way. Like, you would be just, I'm not saying they'll be giving you a 0, because they still have to give you band score on whatever you have provided to them. So you might just end up getting 5, 5.5. If you're lucky enough, or if you actually use some good variations from your side, you might end up just getting 6, but do not expect anything more than 6 bands, because the examiner knows that we did not do what was required. We actually memorize a structure and we just try to fit that in with using a couple of our words. That is not going to work, at least in this particular exam. Next is making your position of view extremely clear. Like, you have to make sure, if they are saying, are you against it or are you in support of it? You have to just make your vision clear as to what exactly are you. Like, are you supporting this statement or are you not supporting this statement? You can say a positive in one paragraph, negative in another paragraph, when they actually ask you to do so. When they say discuss both views and give your own opinion. So you can discuss one negative and one positive, because that's what they asked you to do. But they also said to give your opinion. Now, when you give your opinion, you can't say, oh, I'm in support of this, but at the same time, I also support that. No, this will not work. Examiner will feel at the end of the essay that you were not clear with your vision. You're not clear with your position. You have to make sure you support one and you're against another. Maybe in the real life, you're not actually like that. Maybe you just support both the things in the real life, but just for the sake of the exam and for the sake of the question type, you just have to make sure you support one and move on. You have to be very clear with whatever you are implying towards in the real exam. Now, we know we get 1 hour to do our IELTS writing exam. We get 2 tasks. One, we get 20 minutes to complete. One, we get 40 minutes to complete. Now, for the second task, which is our IELTS essay that I'm referring to, and this applies to the task 1 as well. When you start your any topic of the IELTS writing, you just have to make sure, and that's what I recommend, to spend at least, if not 10, spend at least 5 minutes to plan your essay, to plan your task 1. I have seen many students, they just start the moment that question comes in front of them. They know they are time limited, the time constrained. They'll just start typing or writing down the essay right away, or typing or writing the essay, the task one right away. And then once they're halfway through, that's when they realize, okay, whatever I've written, that is not making any sense, or I'm not able to think of any ideas, or I think of something different now and I have to change. That will waste you a lot of time in the long run. Best is to take those first 5 minutes. Do not start typing or writing anything. Just analyze the question, make some bullet points in your mind as to, what is that question asking you to do? And then create some mental ideas as, okay, this is what they have asked. This is what I'm going to write for that. This is what they have asked. That is what I'm going to write for that. Make some ideas in your mind beforehand. Plan your essay properly. Like, which paragraph are you going to put the negative? Which paragraph are you going to put the positive? What are you support for? What are you against? All that stuff. Make a plan. Once you have spent 5 to 10 minutes on planning, that's when you start typing, because afterwards, once you start typing, you already have got a plan in place and now you're just executing that. That is very important to do. Never start typing or writing right away. You will find a struggle in the long run, because you will just run out of ideas or the content halfway, and then you might have to change the complete thing, and that will waste a lot of time. So it will do the opposite effect of what you were trying to do. Next is the word limit. Now we know the word limit for our task 1 is 150 words, and for our task 2, which is essay, it's 250 words, and that's at least. When they say the word at least, they are implying that you have to make sure doesn't matter how small or short the topic is, you have to put in those many words regardless. So you have to put 150 words in the first task, you have to put 250 words in the second task. That is non-negotiable. You can go over that, that is absolutely fine. However, what I recommend is, when you are doing the task 1, do not exceed more than 250 words. And when you do task 2, which is a writing essay, do not exceed more than 350 words. Not that you will lose marks for that. Let's say if you have written 355 words in the task 2, it's not that they're going to reduce marks for that. But if you're typing 350 plus words, it just shows me that you will run out of time. It's not really possible to type 350, 360, 370 words until and unless you have actually done that essay topic before and you have actually memorized that complete answer for that essay, which I anyway suggested not to do. So prefer, and you don't want to have 400 word, 380 words essay, because the more number of words you type or write, the more chances that you might have made any mistakes. And even if you made few spelling mistakes, you will lose marks for that. So why do you want to put extra 100 words for no reason when you can just make your essay good 260, 270, up to 300 words, and you can still end up getting a full band score. So I would definitely do that. And last but not the least is, you have to cover all the points. I cannot again stress that enough. If in the question they have said discuss both views and give your opinion, they are technically asking you for 3 things. You have to discuss both views. So you have to discuss one side, you have to discuss the second side, and you have to give your opinion. If you fail to do any one out of the given 3 or 4 tasks, doesn't matter how good of an English you have written, doesn't matter the choice of words you have used, the compound sentences, the clauses, all that stuff, that is not going to make any difference after that, because you did not, it's kind of an incomplete answer. You did not finish your answer. And if you did not finish your answer, examiner, even if they want to give you a full score, unfortunately they will not be able to, because you haven't satisfied the conditions of the questions. I hope this video was helpful. This is what I wanted to share in this one, just so that you have got a bit of an idea of these are the most common mistakes that students do, and these are the ones that you need to avoid. Obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, the language that you use, the words that you utilize, the kind of sentences that you use in the exam will definitely matter. But then alongside, it's very crucial for you to follow these tips that I've shared to make sure that you're not making these mistakes and you're not just losing marks or losing your band score for no reason. All the best if you have got your exams coming soon. If you have got any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you want let's say if you're struggling in any topics and you want us to make videos based on those topics, you can again leave them down in the comment section below, and we can prioritize those videos over the ones that we have got planned. All the very best. Stay safe wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next video.